You call investors at this point fragile, and why wouldn't they be? But what does that translate into for the rest of the year?
Well, I mean, if you just look in the immediate term, there has been a transition sentiment-wise in investors. And it's been happening even before some of this crisis in Russia, Ukraine, where you had this idea that, OK, we've made a decent amount of money. The market feels fragile because of the headwinds that we're facing. So when they get an opportunity to sell stuff that they've had gains in, they are selling the rips. And I think we're going to continue to see that, especially through this first Fed hike. Now, when you look at what usually happens after the hiking cycle begins, we start to relax and things start to calm down. So I think the first half of this year is going to be bumpy, and it's really tempting to try to call bottoms. I unfortunately think that we're going to see a couple different types of bottoms in the first half. But the second half, if we start to get used to where we are economically, and if some of the tensions calm down overseas, then you could have a second half that's a little bit more smooth.
The idea of trying to call a bottom, do you think this could be a bottom at this point because of the pervasive negativity, but it may not be the only bottom we see this year? So you're seeing some trouble with maintaining an upward bias for the year. You think we may have serial bottoms in a difficult time for equities?
Yeah, that's probably a good way to put it, is serial bottoms. What you want to see is confirmation of a bottom, and we haven't really had that. We haven't seen these extreme bearish sentiments in the market action. Everybody keeps talking about having bearish sentiment, but the action in the market hasn't been extremely bearish yet. So I think it still can get worse from here. This is obviously a big week. This will be a pivotal week in the market. And hopefully we have a little bit of a relief after we finally get a statement from the Fed and we can move along. But there's also a long period of time between this Fed meeting and the next one where we have to reset our expectations again. And that could be a little bit painful.